Well, good evening, everybody. Star and Flurry coming at you today for readings for Thursday, March 20th. The countdown, wind down begins. I wanted to come back today and talk about the Seven of Swords, which gave me a bit of trouble yesterday. And thank you, Tammy Pie, for commenting regarding a possible meaning, which was not so much being deceived, but more deceiving myself, which I thought was a really interesting and different interpretation that I had not heard of before. So I'm going to put that in my bundle of meanings and pull it out when necessary because that's just one I had never looked at before, and I thank you for that. But I did get out the actual guidebook for the winter season tarot, and it's a really interesting. Oh, I should have pre-found this. Now I'm gonna have to look for it again. But their their meaning is also just as good. It's something that, interestingly enough, I am currently experiencing. So it says the Seven of Swords. This is produced by a woman in Canada, um, Danielle Norman. Anyway, so Seven of Swords. It says in Canada we have about 4 winters. The sneakiest trick of betrayal that the weather plays on us is snowing in April. This year, 2024, it even snowed in May. Upright. It is very important to be truthful and honest. The truth will always rise up and be exposed no matter what point in time it reveals itself. It is important to communicate the truth in all situations, regardless of how it makes others feel. What are you trying to hide? Lying, deceit, and betrayal have an energy to it that does not make sense to people. Use your gut instinct as your guardian angel in situations that do not make sense to you. If something does not feel right to you, then it probably is not. But regarding, and I love the reflection about that, because literally we were in the 60s like a week and a half ago. It was like spring. I was out with my neighbor. We were both doing, well, she was doing gardening. I was watching her do gardening. And uh, we were just remarking how great it was, although we knew that snows were coming. And then literally 2 days after that, it hasn't stopped snowing. Never really piling up except for the other day where we got about 8 inches, 7, 8 inches. Which threw everybody for a loop because that was just totally. It took the weather service did not. I mean, it was snowing. It started out raining and then it started snowing. I think I maybe mentioned this story earlier. Started snowing about 10 o'clock, full on snowing, and it was just piling up, piling up, piling up. And meanwhile, the weather forecast kept saying, less than a half an inch. I'm like, well, we're well beyond that. And finally, at 4 o'clock, they issued a weather advisory, and 2 short hours later, it stopped. So even the weather forecasters, I think, really have a tough time when you're butted up against any kind of mountains. I know Denver is a tough place to call weather because they have these storms that fly up over the mountains, and sometimes they stop and land on Denver, and other times they blow right over. So you never know. So that happened. Anyway, so we have been, and then I just looked at the weather forecast for next week because I have friends blowing through town, the ones that I was supposed to meet, but I'm now possibly, well, I'm not meeting them in California, but I may meet them over on the other side next week. It's supposed to be 70 on Tuesday. I'm like, what? WTF? What? Couldn't believe it. Anyway, so Seven of Swords, being deceived or being deceived or deceiving yourself. Yes, I get that. And so there's the story on that. So I decided we're gonna give. I just got this in the mail today, and it's Peggy Papez's Sassy Dragons Tarot. And I have to just say up front that I love the box. I love the little sassy dragons with their horns. I love the. It's almost a chartreuse. I think it's supposed to be yellow, but to me it comes off almost as a chartreuse. It's just beautiful. Comes with one extra. I have to point this out, which I'm sure you're going to see this deck all over the place here in the next few. But it comes with an extra card, which I just love. Other people's opinions of you are none of your business. Thank you very much. And then, of course, a little card of authenticity. The deck itself is, in my opinion, the perfect size. It is smaller than a regular tarot deck, but it's just perfect. So it's not a mini. It's not like a mini in a tin. It's not like a mini or a tarot in a tin. Do I have a sample of one of those? I do not. Shoot, I wish. Oh, I do. Hold on. Let me dig that out. I have the Universal Weight Tarot in a tin from US Games. So therein lies the difference. Tarot in a tin, Sassy Dragons, regular tarot. So quite a bit bigger than a tarot in a tin, which makes it, and then of course it's got the exceptional, luscious black core, I think black core linen embossed. So let's just do a little sample. I mean, oh my God. For smaller hands, this deck size is utterly perfect. And if you're gonna make a deck smaller, you know, spend the little extra it takes to put in good cardstock. Oh my God, this is the best. So I got both the regular version, which is this one, and also the not safe for work, which is still pretty mild, considering it's not safe for work. Mostly expletives, which I love because don't we all use them? Most people use them. Anyways, we're going to try to use this deck for our readings today for fun, to be on the lighter side of the world today. Thank you, Peggy and Lisa, of course, for creating, Peggy for creating this deck, and Lisa for supervising. Highly appreciate your work here and the smoothness with which this deck unfolded and came into being and came into my hands. I'm so excited. So fire signs, how are you today? Get out so you can focus on your little Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. This is your lookout for tomorrow. Warnings and hopefully good news, or non-warnings for a good day tomorrow, for Thursday, March 20th. Here we go, Sassy Dragons. Four of Cups. And each of the cards has the meanings on it. I'm going to try not to look at them until later. So we have the Four of Cups, Judgment, and the Nine of Pentacles. It looks to me like there's a little, the word here is perfect, discontent here regarding something, and I don't know if it's that it's somebody has been making their opinion known. This is where that extra card, other people's opinions of you is none of your business, but it's still out there, and it can hurt sometimes, and you may regret this, but in the end, I think you know what you're up to, you know what you're good at, and you'll be absolutely fine. I would not worry about this one iota. I think the little dragons are out there protecting you, and you'll be fine. So I want to read. I'm sure you could read it yourself, but I'll read them to you anyways. Four of Cups. It's not what you want, but it is what you need. Acknowledge the root of your discontent, and then address it. Judgment. Game over? Nah, just leveling up. You're being called to evolve. Whether or not you answer is up to you. And so I think this is, yes, you need to answer. So it says, treat yourself. Enjoy the comforts you've earned through your hard work. So time to move on from the whatever pity party this is, and enjoy your triumphs. Oops, I forgot to. And your oracle card, we're using the Dream Song Oracle per usual today. Says make space for change. Right there. Couldn't have said it better myself. Okay, so make space for change. I love that card. 11. All things winter. Oh, good grief. Sorry, I misread that. All things wither and die. Do not despair. You are not just an intentional creatrix, but an effortless one as well. You create all the time. The same way a rose bush produces roses, you produce thoughts, ideas, inspirations, and dreams all the time. When the rose of one project, plan, or relationship withers, another is budding. And lots of budding going on here. You are not the flower, you are the bush. Time to act like it. The Scots have a saying, what is for you will not go by you. This is the wisdom of the moment. Let go. By releasing, you are dropping resistance to all that wants to flower anew within you. That's perfect to go along with this reading. So, yes. Move on. You're doing fine. Okay, Sassy Dragons. That was fun as a first shot here. I love the little backs too. They're so cute. So next, water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. These are the backs. And the not safe for work version has exactly the same gilding. It's just a little darker backside, and the box is a little darker. But not, I mean, moody darker, not dark like black, but just moodier. And like I said, the rest of it, the NSFW is really all about the language, which is nothing outrageous. And there's a few innuendos in there that might not be suitable for let's say, a younger adult, but, after 15 or 16 years old, they've heard and seen it all probably, so no worries there. Okay, water signs. What do we got going on for you tomorrow, Thursday, March 20th? King of Wands. The Star. God, this is just the cutest stinking deck. Okay, so King of Wands. You are, well, this is just, hello, Betty, everything's fine in your world, and will be tomorrow. You're feeling good, you're feeling strong, you're feeling passionate about whatever you're doing, and the Star card is like, the path ahead is, as it says, path ahead here is clear, and you have all the support you need, and this is your support team all right here. You're good to go. You're going to have a great day. Yay. That was an easy reading. Thank you, Sassy Dragons. The Star card is so stinking cute. I do have to point out two things in this. That the little one, the Chariot, he's actually on like this really thick, like, it looks like an electric trike is the best way to describe it. So there's no reins or anything, which I appreciate because I like a Chariot card without reins because I think that's part of it. But the other thing too is that the Hierophant, his little dragon fingers are kind of doing this. And then when you get to the Ten of Swords, even though he's down and sworded, his two little fingers are out like this. And I really appreciate that because I've always acknowledged the connection between the Hierophant and the Ten of Swords. And there's so many decks that don't acknowledge that. And I think it's important too. Because that's to me the positive side kind of the Ten of Swords is, it may be the ending and the finish and maybe not the ending you wanted, but it is also signifying the ending of control and tradition. And I don't mean tradition as in, yeah, we get together every Christmas. I mean tradition as in, this is the way we've always done it, and this is the way you will continue to do it. That kind of tradition, which is lacking in reasoning, and mostly just about control. And that's why the Ten of Swords, frequently in my book, is not a horrible deck or card in the deck, because it really is it's in a way, it's almost a signal of freedom. And I think that ever since I've started thinking about the Ten of Swords like that, it doesn't give me the scaries when I pull it. So for this, it says, bring the exile home. I'm not sure. I don't think that goes with this reading at all, but let's read about it and see what it says. I mean, we've read this one before, but let's read it again, because I don't feel like you're being exiled. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to pick another, because I just don't think this has any... Sorry, Arkle. I'm rejecting your choice. Is that allowed? My reading, it's allowed. I'm going to do this again. We'll take this one no matter what it is. Enter the conversation. Fair enough. And this is, you're clearly in the conversation. It's just saying don't forget to enter it. And this is absolute. I think I said this before when this card came up, but it's absolutely one of my favorite cards in this deck. It's the card I often hear people say it's the card that made me buy this deck, and this is truly that card. I just adore it. So it says the universe is an ongoing conversation between source and matter. You are a part of that conversation, being an extension of source and an embodiment of matter. The symbols that show up in your life on a daily basis are no coincidence. They communicate with you without fail, but require your attention in order to reveal their meaning and messages. Now is the time to pay attention. It's not your imagination. The lyrics on the radio really are communicating with you, as is the wild animal that crosses your path, the unexpected visitor, the overheard conversation in an elevator, even the way the air smells after a summer rainfall reminding you of a time long ago. The entirety of the universe conspires to delight you in conversation and engagement. You'll find your answers there. Slow down, pay attention, look, listen, enter the conversation. Absolutely. What a beautiful, lovely, positive reading all the way along. Good job, water signs. Have fun. Oops. Just skipped over the air signs. Sorry, guys. Air signs, Aquarian, Libra, Gemini. How are we liking this little Sassy Dragons deck? I'm liking it a lot. One, because shuffling it is so much fun. And so far, it's been super positive. Let's knock wood it stays that way. Okay, Nine of Pentacles makes an appearance again. Four of Swords. And the Six of Swords. God, so cute. Look at his little back. Oh my God, the little spines on his back. Oh my God. So freaking adorable. Moving from choppy waters to smoother waters to enchanted lands beyond the usual. It looks like you've been busy and might be in need of a little rest. And that's okay, because don't we all need that? This Six of Swords says, wave goodbye to the drama llama. Accept help and guidance as your journey towards recovery. So, it may be that you just kind of burned yourself out, and that can happen. Hard work. Sometimes the funnest part of work is when you weather whatever storm it is and you get beyond it and you're feeling good and happy and you forget to take the well-needed rest, brain rest, body rest that you need. And sometimes this is, I think I've said this before, but sometimes I think of the Six of Swords. There's a couple other cards in the deck that I think about this too, but for those who are older, may remember the days of the Calgon commercials, where it says, Calgon, take me away. Calgon was the predecessor of the bath bomb. And so it was this, I don't know, I never used it, I don't know what it was, but it was like a powdery stuff. It was like an adult bubble bath for women. Though that's who it was marketed to. But anyways, their ads always said that was their tagline, was Calgon, take me away. And this may be exactly what this is referencing. So enjoy, rest and relax. Enjoy the break. You have freaking earned it. Air signs. And your oracle card today is remember who you are. Remember who you are. And I know in the mayhem and the craziness of busyness and work overload and successes and failures and all of the stuff that makes up our daily work, sometimes we get lost in the muddle. And maybe this is what this is reminding us of. A water doesn't wash, it remembers. When you get quiet and approach the internal pond, quite literally through pondering, you draw close to the soul. Through that meditation, you have a chance to meet she who remembers. Her grace and power remind you that you need only honor your own nature and embrace your natural shape to embody remembrance. Allow yourself to take up all the space you need to express your particular genius. Allow yourself to love who and what you love unabashedly. Make no apologies for what feels the most natural and alive to you. Now is the time to remember who you were before the world told you who you should be. Okay. And earth signs to wind up this reading for Thursday, March 20th. We're reading once again with the Sassy Dragons Tarot by Peggy Papez. Creation supervised by her wife, Lisa Papez, who I think anybody who does much tarot on YouTube is quite familiar with her. Such a pleasure to listen to her, and her and Danny Mystic just did a hot takes on new decks coming out. And while I love watching that, it always costs me money. So this time I bought a book, and I did support a deck on Kickstarter. And interestingly enough, the Kickstarter one is not. First of all, the book I never heard of, and I'm kind of excited about it. And then the deck is one I think I might have seen, but I didn't really give it any due. And then I just both Lisa and Danny were just gooing over it, and I started to goo over it myself. I was like, okay, fine. I've been much more frugal in my Kickstarter backing, because I do end up, a lot of times I end up with decks that I almost initially knew were not for me, especially when they wander far from the RWS image-wise. I've mentioned this a lot of times. I'm more a fan of clones than I am new systems, things that change out names and court cards and major arcana names. It's just one layer more of me having to think, and I think that gets in the way of being able to read comfortably. So that's just me. I think a lot of people love the new systems. They have their minds can stretch. Their minds are more flexible than mine. Mine is not very flexible yet. Although I will tell you that this challenge of doing these 3-card readings has really helped me learn how to look at cards as a group rather than as individual. Because the individual meanings of each card by themselves don't weave together that way. They're I think they're really meant to be looked at as a whole. And I think that's what's so intriguing about the Celtic Cross is there's a lot involved in it, and I am learning it. But I do find when I pull a Celtic Cross that I get much more in depth than I do these 3-card readings. Obviously, there's just more to look at, but there's more interchange between the cards as well. Kind of predetermined what cards you pull together and what cards feed off each other and blah blah blah. And so that has doing those readings just by myself, I think, have also improved my ability to look at cards as groupings rather than individual meanings that then you read each individual meaning and then have to come up with a narrative. It's like, no, just read the narrative. It's right there in front of you. Read it like a sentence, if you can. I mean, like I said, you see me sometimes switch cards around in order to fit the narrative that I'm seeing, because I don't necessarily think we pull cards in order of the way they're meant to be ordered. I think it's the 3 cards that you need to find a way through, basically. So anyways, let's get on it. Earth, Page of Pentacles. Well, of course, because you're an earth sign. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Hi. Page of Pentacles. If you want it, you got to work for it. Oh, another pentacle. 9 of Pentacles. If you work for it, it will come. And Field of Dreams was just on the other night. What a great film. If you build it, he will come. Beautiful, beautiful film. And a 5 of Cups. So, recently, I'm getting with the 5 of Cups a lot. And I think, I love this because it's juice boxes. Did you see this? So the little guy has 3 spilled out juice boxes. But he's also got 2 full ones here, and he just can't seem to bring himself to turn his head around to see this. This is, I always say, what is lost, but not, what does it say? Allow yourself to grieve what was lost, but remember what remains. And that's what I always say about this card, or I think I say, is all is not lost. Look at this. You got a beautiful sky, you got water, you got a bridge to call, you got a castle in the background. The world still is very vibrant around you, and just because you somehow knock these three over, um, stuff happens. You still got these two here. So this just says, you enjoy what you've learned and done, and don't let your mind talk you into, yeah, but don't we all do that? Even the successes, man. It's easy when there's failures because it's so easy to go, yeah, well, I knew that was going to happen, or could have seen that coming. But when something really good happens and we're successful at something, it's so easy to enjoy the success for a moment and then turn around and say, yeah, but if we just done this, it would have been even better. Or we just done this, that, it's like, stop it. Look at what you did, and look at what you did. Look at the successes, embrace them, and freaking enjoy them. Come on. You don't have to always turn around and look at all the things that you shoulda, coulda, woulda. You know what I mean? So there's that. Enjoy it. Oopa. Well, that's interesting. Okay. Oracle, what say you? With this cute little deck. It's like, this is the kid playing outside, and this is the adult coming in on the patio to make some announcement to the children. Inhale, permission. Exhale, relief. 19 is the card number. The stress created when we're in fix-it mode can drive us to stack. Oh, we read this one yesterday, and I really liked it. Stacking is when you layer one unsolvable situation onto another, and before you know it, you're smothered in overwhelm, unable to breathe. Here's the rule for the moment. When you can't get to joy, get to relief. Forget about solutions or completion or fixing. Take a moment to inhale permission. You got to this juncture honestly, doing the best that you could. Accept it as temporary. Exhale the worry that you'll never be enough or figure it all out. And this is a lot of what this card is about. It's about, I know that they speak of regret, worry, but you're just looking the wrong way. Look the other way. Exhale the worry that you will never be enough or figure it all out. Just find the nearest thought that brings you relief and follow that thought with some kind of action. One thought at a time, one tiny action at a time. Between the inhale and the exhale, your mind will begin to make more room for possibilities. Absolutement. Alrighty, everyone. Thank you so much for coming by. Thank you again, Peggy and Lisa, for this super fun deck. We may pull it out again tomorrow. Everyone have a wonderful day tomorrow, Thursday, March 20th, and we'll see you later. Okay, bye.